Go ahead.
Well, looking back in the year 2009, in January, I got very sick. I had to be revived by the fire department. I was in a doctor's office getting some injections to get rid of my terrible allergies that I had living out in the California desert. And I had a violent reaction, and quite frankly, I really thought I was going to die. Fire department came in. Fortunately, they revived me. They hauled me out to the Eisenhower Medical Center, which was the main hospital in the desert. And I started with all types of different medications and various things trying to get better. Nothing worked. And then they started using all kinds of treatments with radiation, CAT scans, PET scans, MRIs, different studies, and I didn't get any better. It seemed like I got worse. So I had these terrible allergies, and all of a sudden, I now have got shingles. My immune system crashed. So now I've got the terrible allergies. I've got something that I knew nothing about. I just heard some horror stories of what shingles is all about. I can tell you, it's about the worst thing that could happen to anybody. And I've had shingles for the last 3.5 years because I now what they have called post-traumatic shingles. That means I don't get the blisters, but I occasionally get the pain. It's because I have the shingles inside my body. And then I had another terrible experience in 2010. I went back to the desert to visit family during the holidays, and I had another terrible allergy attack. And I wound up once again by an ambulance back to Eisenhower. And this was an interesting wake-up call. I met a doctor, the ER doctor, and he saw this drugstore of the sack of all the various drugs that I had. And as he read them over, he said, you know, Mr. Randall, you're at a point, these drugs are not going to work for you anymore. And he said, I understand you rejected to have the CAT scan. I said, that's right. I don't want any more radiation. He said, I don't blame you. And for what I just told you, he said, I can get in a lot of trouble. He says, I said, well, then what do I do? He says, you need to get healed naturally. And I go, well, I live in Oahu. He says, that's interesting. I've heard there is a Chinese holistic doctor that is on that island. I don't know where this man is, and I don't even know his name, but he says, that's a small enough island. See if you can find him. And see if you can get off these medications. The sooner you can get off these medications, and you could start to heal naturally, I think this is going to heal you and bring your immune system back. He said, that's what I would do. And he said, I wish you luck. And I thanked him profusely because I said, you are at least being straight up with me. You're being honest about the situation. And that was it. A week later, I'm back home here in Hawaii Kai in Honolulu, and I get something in the mail about a special conference to get acquainted with holistic medicine and some natural ways of how to be healing. And it says Dr. John Char. And there was a picture of him, and you know, he looked Asian, and I'm thinking, wow, I wonder if this is the guy. So I go to this special dinner where they have various slides and conversations about how they can do these special therapies to make one feel better. And I find out, yeah, he is a Chinese doctor of holistic plus holistic dentistry. I figured he's got to be the guy. I mean, because of all these things that he's telling me what they could do. So I go into a 6-month therapy program. And it didn't take long because Dr. Char changed everything that I was doing. Of course, I was eating wrong, doing a lot of the wrong things, but he changed my diet. He had various things that, through his natural therapy of healing me, and all of a sudden my allergies started to clear up. At the end of 6 months, my constant frequent pain of shingles, that disappeared. Just on rare occasions with high humidity, it would come back. Early on, I had psoriasis, my ankles, my knees, my elbows. Had it for 40 years. Well, now that disappeared. And 2.5 years since I've been under therapy, I haven't been sick once. My allergies, I occasionally have to take some special allergy pills that Dr. Char has, some natural things that I get from the drugstore. And I put it underneath my tongue if I'm starting to feel like I'm getting a sore throat. And it's all natural. It works. That's about all I take as far as my allergies. Unfortunately, I have a heart condition. Doctor can't help that. But by and large, my immune system, I believe, has improved dramatically through Dr. Char's therapy sessions. And he's made a believer out of me. That's my story.
And what's your name?
Michael Randall.